Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark Cavalier with the Southwest Coalition for Life, and I'm coming to you with just a very short notice, urgent update that we've just been aware of. And a lot of you might have already seen the news, and people have been contacting me. Their phones are blowing up. But this is an article that was just released earlier today from the Las Cruces Sun News that you can see here that New Mexico Governor Lujan Grisham is directing $10 million of taxpayer money, of your taxpayer money, to opening a new state-funded abortion facility in Doña Ana County. This is coming right after we've seen already a huge influx in Las Cruces, going from no abortion providers a year ago to now this is going to be four. We've already seen the controversial abortion business at the center of the Dobbs versus Jackson case that led to the overturn of Roe versus Wade and the shutdown in Mississippi, now relocating to Las Cruces. We've seen more coming across the state. Planned Parenthood coming soon to Las Cruces. And if that's not enough, now we have the New Mexico governor directing taxpayer money, $10 million to, just as again, coming up just 10 weeks before the November 8 election, to an abortion center in New Mexico. And this is, I mean, I'm still processing this information. And so we wanted to get on and talk about this really urgent news and what this means. And so we got a few people lined up who've just hopped on in the last 30 minutes to speak to you and let you help to unpack this announcement. And so I want to first bring on our attorney from Abortion on Trial, Mr. Mike Seibel. So Mike, I mean, you sent me a text and said, $10 million going to more abortion in Doña Ana County. What does this mean?
Well, in the past, New Mexico has given away their water rights to Texas. Now we're giving away our healthcare dollars. New Mexicans don't want abortions. We have one of the lowest in-state abortion rates in the country, and it's about 7%. We have less than 3,000 abortions in the country. Doña Ana County, I'm assuming, has less than 500 abortions on their residents a year. This is a complete diversion to provide New Mexico as Texas back alley abortion clinic. I mean, we continue to see this rhetoric throughout the state of New Mexico. Our legislators say they want to protect women. Instead, what we're doing is we're protecting Texas women, not New Mexico women. New Mexico women don't want abortions, period. We, again, have one of the lowest rates. And what does this mean? This means not only is your tax dollars going to go out there, but we're going to see a healthcare crisis. We already have a shortage of nurses and physicians in the state of New Mexico due to the COVID restrictions and people moving out of state and the conscience clause problems that we have. And we're going to continue to tax our healthcare system. Additionally, it'll be more women in the emergency rooms here in New Mexico. Just with the abortion pill alone, about a third of the women who come over who take the abortion pill have emergency room complications, according to a Lozier study. This is going to jam pack your emergency rooms. This is going to affect your healthcare. Let's not even talk about women's healthcare. It's going to affect your healthcare by importing this many of women. You're not going to get the emergency room services that you need. We're going to have a strap system even more so after this COVID shortage. This is going to affect whether or not you get treated for a heart attack or a stroke or something else, especially in the Las Cruces area. So I think what we have to do is we have to look at ways to stop this crisis that we're going to have here in New Mexico if this $10 million is allocated. Not to mention, why are we doing it for Texas? We should be focusing our tax dollars on our women in this situation, Mark.
And let's unpack that a little bit, because I don't know if everyone understands. So we're already in a situation that we're seeing one surgical abortion facility, two chemical abortion pill clinics coming to Las Cruces. And what are some of the numbers of Las Cruces women who have been seeking abortions? Do we know that?
2017 and 2018 Medicaid statistics provided by the New Mexico Department of Health, it looks as though 80% of our abortions occur in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Las Cruces women themselves, Doña Ana County women, can't be more than 200 to 300 women seeking an abortion a year in the county itself. You know, when we look at the the overall population, that would make sense. So we're spending $10 million for 200 to 300 New Mexico residents to quote have access to health care. That's just not the case. I mean, that would be.
And if we've already got now multiple abortion facilities in a town the size of Las Cruces, then I just want to unpack that a little bit. So then what is the other reason and motivation to target Doña Ana County with a $10 million abortion facility?
Well, just to become Texas's back alley abortion clinic, Mark. I mean, it's as simple as that. They need to ship as many women to New Mexico to have these women have abortions in New Mexico. Texas has outlawed everything. Their trigger ban is in effect, and the only place they can seek is New Mexico. Well, guess where the closest city in New Mexico is to Texas of any substantial size? Las Cruces, New Mexico. This is just Texas's abortion clinic now that they've outlawed the abortion in Texas.
And I mean, this seems to just be cementing this idea. I mean, some people were criticized for making claims that, like, you know, oh, the governor is promoting this idea of abortion tourism to draw people to the state specifically for this. But she's just making this loud and clear. This is what she wants.
I would say exactly, Mark. And I think, you know, we need to have people like David Gallegos address this, as this is not truly allocated like today. It is on her, quote, legislative agenda for the 2023 session. So that's what the executive order says. And I think we need some expertise from David Gallegos, who I think is joining us here today to kind of see how we would attack this issue on the political side.
Absolutely. And so I'm really excited that on short notice you're available. Senator Gallegos is available with us. Senator, what's going on?
Hey, Mark, thank you guys for bringing this to the forefront. I've been visiting, actually, I was talking to Rod Montoya earlier, the House Whip, and we're looking at this from a large perspective. This will be done in House Finance and Senate Senate Finance, House Appropriations. So what we need to start doing is contacting our legislators, let them know this is unacceptable. You look at, you know, the needs in our state. They're saying we're going to have extra money. So I'm sure this is on the governor's wish list for what she wants next year. But we need to put a stop to this. You know, we have veterans needs, we have homeless needs, we have mental health needs in this area in our state. But if you want to put something somewhere and you say you care, then why not put this towards the pregnancy centers and the maternity homes? There's a lot of need in New Mexico, and to start a new abortion clinic for state-run abortion clinic here in New Mexico, I like the way Mike Seibel put it, that it's for Texas residents. We are Texas, and why are our tax monies funding something that they want and they desire? We're totally against this. We're going to do everything we can get a little bit ahead of the game between now and session. I think she let this out way too early. This ought to be something that our legislators that are running for office right now are using this as their dialogue on why not to vote her in as governor and why they should be state representatives, because we need more people that are like-minded like us that want to put our money, our state money, our tax money to good use, not to something like this.
Thank you so much, David. And you're absolutely right. You know, I've been looking actually at Texas, and they have this incredible alternatives to abortion program where they're putting millions and millions of dollars into helping women and children in maternity homes and actual authentic women's healthcare with, you know, helping with childbirth and just so many services. And I've just been thinking what a difference something like that would make if New Mexico was able to do a program like that. But instead, we're seeing $10 million diverted just to more abortion.
You're right. It's just going to overwhelm the state. You look at the causes it's going to do to our emergency rooms when these chemical abortions aren't dealt with right. You know, we're not set up for this. I mean, even though you're right there in the El Paso area, we've got a lot of good facilities there. But I think she's got the wrong thought. I think you used it earlier, where she wants this to be the abortion capital of the world. I think it's for the wrong reason. I don't know that we have any reason to be. You look at it, we're always worst on the list. This really puts us to the worst on this list. So I don't think there's any reason New Mexico needs to play in this area. We just need to do what we do best and start trying to find out ways that we can help save lives and help some of our other areas like the veterans and the homeless situation we have here in New Mexico.
And for 50 years now, people have been fighting Roe versus Wade, and now that that is gone, it's back to the state level. And it is, sometimes we put so much emphasis on big, national elections, but it is more important than ever that we get involved. We vote pro-life at the local level, the city level, the county level, the state level, because this is the effect of that.
You're right. We should be telling from our school board on up what we want right now, because it all matters. Like I know that we have, some key leadership roles in the governor's office and other elections going on. Our state house is important because we need to be able to take the state house so that we have some balances. Checks and balances are good in any organization. And I think in state government, it's really important that we get more key people in so that we can protect our state from some of the wild ideas that we have out there that are going to do nothing but destroy life and destroy New Mexico.
Mike, anything based on all this?
David, it's my understanding, Senator Gallegos, that we have some pretty close races down there in the Las Cruces area. Is there anything that the people of Las Cruces can do during this next election?
There's actually 4 critical races down there in the Las Cruces area. And I would think it would be very good for anyone that can hear this message to go to those candidates on both sides and ask them their points, because I think on the Republican side, they'll all be in our corner. They'll be saying we need to save life, and protect New Mexico. On the other side, I would ask them what their thoughts are and why, because it comes down to the point, are they voting your ideals? Are they voting your morals? Are they voting for you? When they get into Santa Fe, they're supposed to take your ideals and vote for them in Santa Fe. Will they do that? I've not seen it yet from that quarter of the state, but it'd be a really good thing to ask both sides where they are and what their beliefs are in saving lives.
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator. One thing, let me pull this back up again. One thing that it showed on here on this article is it said that this future abortion clinic is to provide, quote, and it has quote marks, a full spectrum of women's healthcare services, including abortion. And so I thought it was, we thought it was important to bring on someone who can help speak to this idea of is this something that speaks to women's healthcare? And so, Mike, I know you invited Dominique Davis with Project Defending Life from there in Albuquerque. I'd like to bring her on. Dominique, we just heard this today. What's your reaction?
Oh, I was super surprised. Sorry if there's feedback, but I was definitely super surprised to hear that our governor allocated wants to allocate $10 million to a reproductive health care center in Doña Ana, only because in the context of reproductive health care, I have to wonder if she's even thinking or considering prenatal care, maternal health care. I know that I believe the San Juan Regional Center, or one of the hospitals just outside of Gallup, who was serving a lot of the rural areas there, had to close the maternity ward because a lack of providers to serve women giving birth, and now they have to travel even farther for labor and delivery. And so why are we not putting money to things like this as well, instead of, a new clinic that doesn't need to be providing abortions, because New Mexican women do not want abortions, and servicing women from out of state who is really just endangering their health if they're not getting the critical information they need, to determine if even abortion is an option for them, things like that. So it actually doesn't surprise me, but I'm still very shocked that she would send that much money to a new clinic, especially on the dime of taxpayers.
Yeah, and just the fact alone that this is state tax dollars. I mean, this is money that has come out of yours and my pocket against our will, being, funding something that, that we don't agree with. We think this is bad for women. This is bad for children. I don't know. I'm just absolutely blown away.
Yeah, Senator Gallegos pointed it out too. I mean, we clearly have other needs here that are very important and critical for New Mexican families, men, women, children, the unborn child. We're in severe need of, proper staffing at hospitals and clinics to serve women who are already pregnant throughout their pregnancy and postpartum. We're severely lacking in those resources and mental health care, all these things that would maybe drive a woman to make an abortion decision where she otherwise wouldn't if we had good quality healthcare services in place already. And so it just seems really misguided use of funds, and just doesn't understand the priorities I think that women actually want or need in New Mexico and even Texas women.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, Senator Gallegos, is there any other thoughts just with this news to help people understand what's going on?
Well, Mark, I really think that, we've got to do something about this. We are not an abortion state. Our people are very pro-life here in New Mexico. We value life generally in New Mexico. It's reflected in our abortion rates. We've seen the pregnancy centers and the sidewalk advocates reduce the number of abortions in the last 7 years from about 3,800 in-state residents to 3,000. I think we need to be allocating more funds to those type of organizations rather than create another abortion clinic for out-of-state people to come here. And, we're going to see not only that, but we're going to see these women get injured. I hate to say that, but our abortion industry here in New Mexico has a horrible track record of being unregulated and unsafe. And as a result of that, I see that we're just going to have a myriad of our problems. We have not thought this through as a community, why we're allocating that much money to something that is just simply unneeded here in New Mexico.
Yeah, and to your point, Dominique's point, I mean, this is, if we actually sit and listen to women and talk to them and don't just slap this big ugly Band-Aid on abortion as the solution to their issues, there's so much more that we can be doing. This is not, we need to be looking at authentic women's healthcare that is actually helping women with their pregnancies, journeying with them as women, not just telling them to suppress and destroy the normal healthy functions of their bodies as women and as mothers. And it's, oh my gosh, I'm just really at a loss for words. We've been overwhelmed anyway with so many abortion centers coming down, and then we hear this, and it truly is a David and Goliath story, I believe, and that Goliath seems like lately is just getting bigger and bigger in the state of New Mexico. But one of the things that has proven to be a really essential foundation for responding to this is starting first and foremost, we know, with prayer. And here coming up in just a few weeks is the next international campaign of 40 Days for Life, which has spread around the world through all 50 states, has been really had some huge momentum here in the state of New Mexico. In this area, the southern part, we've seen 3 abortion facilities closed in the last few years by people coming out and praying and responding. And I know this is something that Dominique at Project Defending Life up in Albuquerque also helps to organize. Is that something that people from the northern part of the state can learn more about in Albuquerque?
Yes, they definitely. I think we're already starting to advertise our 40 Days for Life campaign that will kick off at the end of September, which we're super excited for. I'll look to Mike if I can share some details. But yeah, okay. We're pretty excited. We're going to host Father Frank Pavone, among many other local pro-life speakers here to kick off, I think, what is a really important 40 Days for Life campaign, because it'll be our first campaign, post Roe, which I think makes it extra special. And, considering that we are just multiplying like crazy with abortion facilities in Albuquerque and across New Mexico, praying, and fasting, especially during this time, is going to be critical to really get to the root of the issue here in New Mexico that continues to want to support entities that are just destroying women and children.
And I'd like to show some folks how to sign up for 40 Days for Life coming up. But is there anything else before I do that? Senator Gallegos or Mike?
Well, I'd like to go ahead and make a statement. I think this needs to enrage our communities, get them to the polls, make this an issue for our statewide elections. I think the governor has laid out her cards to show us exactly what she wants in next session. She needs not to be in that seat come January. So I thank you for the opportunity and for you guys keeping everyone posted on this, because it's really tragic that our state wants to be known as the abortion capital of the world. So thank Thank you for the time.
Thank you all for joining. And with that, I just want to show everybody a little bit here and how they can join 40 Days for Life. And so real quick, I want to share my screen. So if you're in the northern part of the state, I encourage you to go to defendinglife.org that we just heard from Dominique. And then from there, you're able to go to 40 Days for Life. And there's information there coming up for this next fall 2020 campaign on how to sign up and who to contact. And this changes hearts and minds unlike anything else. If you're in the southern part of the state, then go to our website, www.southwest.life. That's southwest.life. And there you can click on several of the places where you see 40 Days for Life or volunteering. And we actually have a brand new, I'm really excited about this, actually a brand new scheduling tool where we have calendars for all 4 of the vigils happening in Doña Ana County. That includes the 3 in Las Cruces as well as in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. If you're watching in El Paso right now, you need to join and be a part of this and join that Santa Teresa campaign, because right now it's almost exclusively women from Texas who are driving from El Paso and beyond. We've even seen women driving 16 hours from Houston, San Antonio, Lubbock to El Paso for their abortions. And in fact, I'm going to bring Mike back on if you're still available to speak a little bit about some of those numbers from Texas women coming to New Mexico, like the number of out-of-state versus in-state abortions. What is that looking like? Let me unmute you. Sorry.
20, and I don't remember if you did the webcast. Remember our webcast from 2020 when COVID shut down everything. I said we would have 50% of the state abortions being from out of state. Well, that came true. We had about 6,000 abortions in 2020, 3,000 out of state. That number, I think, is going to increase this year to 6,000 out of state with 3,000 in state, maybe even less because our local people can't even get appointments. And then in 2022, I think it's between 12 and 15,000. We are seeing double the number of people coming from Texas that are in New Mexico. We are seeing expansion of the abortion industry here in New Mexico. I think that we're going to see some astronomical numbers, especially if this clinic is opened up in Doña Ana County. I could see as many as 30,000 abortions a year, with only 10% of those being in state in New Mexico. That is just drastic. I mean, we are becoming a culture of death for the United States. They're shipping them here in droves. So, I know I saw a report from Franz Theard in Santa Teresa. Just this year, he's up from about 140 abortions a month to 260, as reported in the in the Washington Post.
Right.
So I think, we're seeing a doubling of those Texas women coming from out of state.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Mike. Yes. So again, if you're in El Paso, in fact, Ricardo with Students for Life here in El Paso, you're asking, what happened to the Planned Parenthood in El Paso? Well, thanks to the Dobbs decision and the fact that life is now recognized and protected from the moment of conception in the state of Texas, that Planned Parenthood, while they are still open, they are no longer doing abortions at this moment. They are referring to New Mexico. And so we can praise God for that small step in this larger journey that we still have to walk. We are focused right now on the 4 active abortion centers where abortions are taking place, starting first and foremost with the Hillrise location, which is the Pink House, the Las Cruces Women's Health Organization on Hillrise Drive. And that is the one that is lost at the Supreme Court and is coming in with surgical abortions is kind of that first priority. Second is the Santa Teresa Vigil, where active abortions are happening, especially for El Paso and Texas women. And then there's the Las Cruces Planned Parenthood, which is still not open at 2525 South Tell Shore. But a lot of times when there's a strong prayerful presence, we've actually seen abortion facilities fail to open and even prevented from opening by the prayerful presence there. And then Full Circle Health Center is the abortion pill distribution center that is doing abortion pill by mail in Las Cruces. And so again, go to southwest.life. You can click on any one of these vigils. And when you do, you're going to see a calendar with all the available information. There's all the available shifts throughout all of these. And you can click on one of these. You'll create an account, put in your email, phone number, and then click on one of these hours, such as, Thursdays at 10 a.m. Do a new reservation, put in your information, and that is automatically going to make you a weekly volunteer here for all the Thursdays at 10 a.m. in this case. Create reservation, and you're done. You sign the statement of peace, complete your sign up, And you will now get automatic email and text reminders, and you'll get be in touch with our day captains and our visual coordinators about participating as a weekly volunteer just for those 5 or 6 weeks of the campaign. And so again, go, and we need to fill this. We need to fill every single hour with a nonstop, unbroken chain of prayer. And then when you come back here, you'll be able to see any hours you've signed up for, have a green check mark, and any hours that are filled with 2 people or more committed are going to be grayed out like that. And so we want to see every hour on all 4 of these vigils completely grayed out, meaning we have at least 2 prayer volunteers that, Christ sent us out in 2s. And we need to be in, prayer and fasting during this time. And we've seen God close now. I can't even always keep up with the current numbers. Let me pull them up from 40 days. For life.com nationally. But there's been over 22,000 lives saved, 242 abortion workers quit, and 120 abortion facilities that have shut down and closed their doors permanently, including 3 already in the Borderland region. Planned Parenthood, the 4th now, no longer actively doing abortions. And so we know that with God, first in this, first through this foundation of prayer and fasting, that all things are possible. And so please spread the word, share this link, especially for everyone in Las Cruces and Doña Ana County, because this battle is coming to the entire state of New Mexico as really the new front line in this new era of the pro-life movement. It's a completely different situation than we've seen for the last 50 years battling Roe versus Wade. And it's up to us. We can't, we have to do our job. We need to vote pro-life. We need to make sure that that's represented. But in the meantime, we also can't hold our breath waiting solely on Caesar to help our neighbors for us. We got to get our knees on the ground, get out on the sidewalk, and be that peaceful witness. Most women going for abortion have some kind of faith background and are praying for some kind of sign. Should I do this or not? And they see someone out praying peacefully on their knees, and they know that you were my sign. You were my sign from God not to do this today. And you can be a part of that story to impact somebody's decision and generations to come from that. So that being said, I want to thank you for your time. And real quick, I just want to ask everybody else on the call if there's any other last parting thoughts. This was kind of a quick, impromptu, unplanned event. But Senator, Dominique, Mike, anything else before we sign off?
Just a lot of prayer. Let's get down on our knees and let's pray, because we are in one gigantic battle here in New Mexico.
We are.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all, and God bless you all. And please spread the word. Sign up, and both in Albuquerque and in Doña Ana County, help us to pack that vigil full. That is going to change the hearts and minds of everybody when they see that Las Cruces is pro-life, Doña Ana County and the state of New Mexico is pro-life. But they only know that if you put your faith into action and sign up, make one appointment with God on the sidewalk to come out and pray. So God bless you guys, and we'll see you on the sidewalk.